Hello, you crackheads. Welcome back to Squire Syndrome Podcast. I hope you're well. I'm your host, Ben Gilman. Welcome back to our lovely TV podcast. I hope all is well. I am joined by the most mature one of my co-hosts, Helen Watkins.
Hi.
And I'm joined by the baby of the group, the sweaty man, meekly known as Tara Chloe.
Hello.
And obviously, Troy Salmon is not here this week. He's gone on a journey to become a man. Hopefully, he'll be back next week when that journey is complete. How are you guys doing this week?
I would love him. I'm all right. How are you?
I'm knackered. My voice is almost gone, so hopefully this recording will go well. I have talked my ass off this week. I am not a professional bullshit artist. I'm a manager. That's why. Yeah. How was your week?
I mean, the line between professional bullshit artist and manager is a very, very, very wavy one. It's not very clear.
We have to wear a lot of hats, I think.
We do, yeah, we do. And the worst one is serving up a shit sandwich on a platter and telling people that it's a gourmet dinner. So I don't envy you.
And also, you're always the bad guy to somebody. You can't win. So, hey, we have to be the bad guy.
Exactly. So you might as well do what's best for you.
But we get paid more, so I don't give a shit. So, Tara, Chloe, how was your week?
It was good. Yeah.
Good. Awesome. Right. So, who wants to go first? We're just going to get straight into it.
I reckon you should go first, Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Why me? I never go first.
Well, exactly.
Well, okay. So I'm just going to quickly go through my shows. This could be a very short one this week. I think we're going to be aiming for the 45 under that, maybe. So, I mean, obviously, it's a running joke at this point. David Tennant is always on this podcast at some point. Every couple of weeks, there's a David Tennant quote. I mean, obviously, we've got to do this again in November when Doctor Who comes back on the air. I marvel about how chiseled his bone structure is. So I wanted to talk about something with Steven Moffat and David Tennant starring in Inside Man.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen this, right?
I've seen it, yeah.
I've just touched Helen Watkins in a very special area. I think her husband might beat the shit out of me for that.
You touched me in the Inside Man.
No comment. You touched me Inside Man. Like, what are you from Newcastle, man?
David Tennant could be my Inside Man, for sure.
Oh, I'm sure he's done some inside jobs with Georgia Tennant. Georgia Tennant, or is it Georgia Moffat?
Georgia Moffat. Well, she was Georgia Moffat. Now she's Georgia Tennant.
He's used his screwdriver to help out her indoor plumbing. So anyway,
Ooh.
So
I mean, I can't judge. Like, one time I got my friend who's a costume designer asked me to drive her to the costume store for the Royal Shakespeare Company, and I spent a full 3 hours trying to find David Tennant's trousers, so I'm in no position to judge.
Were you going to sniff them or not? That's what.
Of course I was going to sniff them. Why else would I want to find them?
Put them on. I'm the man now. Yes.
I believe I was owed because I had tickets to the only theatre performance that David Tennant's ever missed in his entire career. So thanks for that.
Maybe it was two Scottish people in the same building would have caused a temporal force to explode the building.
Yeah, perhaps.
I would love to see an Scottish TARDIS team. You and David Tennant travelling around. Get rid of Billy Piper. That's what we do with Helen Watkins as the companion. We all hate Billy Piper. She's rubbish. Let's have you and David Tennant together, running around being Scottish for a season.
I don't think they'd let two Scottish people be on television at the same time at the BBC. I'm pretty sure that's against their rules.
That's a good discussion. But anyway.
What did you think of Inside Man then?
Inside Man. So basically, David Tennant plays a priest. See, it's so difficult to talk about the plot without spoiling it.
Well, okay, I'll talk about the plot. It was a load of old shit. There you go. How's that for the plot?
Yeah, the acting's in it's great. There's a American prisoner that just didn't need to be there.
What really annoyed me because it was classic fucking Moffat, right? It was all like every single plot twist was a contrivance, and he had a beginning and he had an end point, and he just hadn't thought about how to get from A to B. And then it was like, okay, this is happening now, and there was absolutely no need for it. More plot holes than a fucking fishing net.
Yeah.
It angered me.
So, when we first started this podcast, when there were the only men running it, we ripped. There was a bit of an argument about Dracula. I thought the first 2 episodes were great.
I did as well, and then it got really.
And then we got to the 3rd episode in modern day, and it was absolutely shite, like proper. People were arguing. I spoke to people. It split people down the middle. There was lots of people arguing. I called them the Moffat the fanboys. Basically, they were sitting there going, "Oh, it's brilliant! It's a masterpiece! It's perfect!" And like some people just can't. Moffat is like the most. I bet you. I wonder if he has any children because he can't seem to climax ever.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'm not going to go too far into female anatomy, right? But when you're making love to a woman, you have to take your time. You have to pace it. You have to do all of those things. And then, once you've put everything in motion that needs to be, and you've greased the wheels and all that stuff and got everything lined up, the end result is great. But if you just go in there and be like, right, I'm going to do this, and it's all flashy set pieces and no substance, then you're not going to get anywhere. And that's what Inside Man was.
I keep thinking you're going to talk about Inside Number 9 every time you say it.
No, it's one of those guys that, and I think the ladies know what I'm talking about. The ladies who have sex with men anyway. It's one of those guys who tell you that they're really, really good in bed, and you get there and we're like, what, did I get excited for this?
I bet you Steven Moffat's sperm fell every time. Wow. If he's anything like his writing, his wife is never sexually fulfilled.
No, exactly.
That's the title of this podcast. Steven Moffat's sperm always fails.
It's one of those men that spends more time telling you how good he is in bed than he is actually being good in bed, and then it's like,
so he did
when it gets to the end,
Who
you're just like sticky and disappointed.
He couldn't land the season finale in Doctor Who either. Russell T Davies, some people would say, yeah, but he always had a satisfying ending. It always wrapped up quite okay, like pretty much normally.
He was good at setting things in motion, and that's what I'm looking forward to when he takes over Who again, because he was very, very good at setting everything up. It was like Stephen King novel, like The Shining, not The Shining, The Stand, where it's like there's all of this stuff that's happening. You don't know why it's happening. You don't know what's happening. It all seems to be completely unrelated. And then all of a sudden it all just comes into one, and like you didn't even know that it was supposed to be happening like that. Like you could never have guessed how it all fit together. That's what what's his face? Help me out. Davies. That's what Davies does. Yeah. Moffat is like Dan Brown. Like he knows how to write a chapter. He knows what the ending is. It'll end on a cliffhanger, but then it'll just be like a little wet fart, disappointing.
So, like, I'm excited because I remember Matt Smith's season finale with the Pandorica.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get out of that? Some absolute bullshit was the answer. That was one of the most best cliffhangers of all time, and he just completely stuck his fingers out like it just opened. I feel like it still doesn't work. River Song is Amy Mori's daughter. That's shit. It's like it's just one lame thing after another. It's like you bring back the Time Lords for Capaldi. What does he do? Just brings Clara back from the dead, and the man doesn't treat death as it should be. He's always got to bring people back.
The thing with Inside Man is it felt like he was trying to be more like Davies. Like he was like, right, okay, I can do a Russell T Davies. I can do a what is this thing? Why is it relevant? And then bring it out like a magician 10 minutes later or 2 episodes later. But he couldn't land it.
Except for his one is all big and droopy and wrinkled and old and smells of wee.
Yeah, exactly. No, I wanted to like it. I really did. Like, I tried really hard to like Inside Man.
But this is like what happened with Sherlock. The last 2 seasons of Sherlock were really wanky. People were like, "Oh, it's amazing." It's like, no, it's awful. His last couple of seasons of Sherlock were so wanky. They forgot how to be entertaining. So smug and all that. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a place to be smug, but I don't know. It's just everyone seems to think he's amazing.
But even the therapist, the rapist thing, like, without too many spoilers, there's a bit in the first episode that's about a therapist that's just like so stupid. Like, but you nicked that from Arrested Development, and you didn't even do it well. Sorry, I keep talking over you, but because I'm so angry about it.
No, it's
Like,
fine. It's good to know that you
terrible.
um about it because like the acting's fine. The plot's a bit. If we ever turn it's amazing. I'm a fucking vicar. I'm the fucking vicar should be on a t-shirt.
Yeah. No, I mean,
But
David Tennant did the best with what he had, but like the bit that it began with like filming the people on the train just seemed utterly pointless. Like, what did that add to the plot?
why did he end up blocking her? Like there was loopholes
So many
through the
plot holes.
plot. Like you could have gone to the police and he could have explained it, and he could have gone to the mother. He clearly knows that the mother knew that her son was a paedophile.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it took. She would have backed him up. Like it's just stuff like that, like to cover up stuff. Like you could have sorted it out.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know. And the way he accidentally hit and threw down the stairs was like a Home Alone sketch in the first episode as well.
Yeah.
Nah, I mean it was a bit. I don't know. I mean, Stanley Tucci didn't need to be there. What a waste! Like the American serial killer. Don't know why that needs to be there.
I mean, he was great. Like, what a performance. But yeah, why?
Hmm.
What I didn't understand. Like, what was the point? What did that add to anything?
Hmm. So there's that one.
And
And then I
he used a lot of actors that Russell T Davies has used before as well. Well, one or two.
yeah.
And that kind of felt a bit like, oh, you really are doing your best Rusty impression today, aren't you?
Oh, Russell, he's coming back for Doctor Who Shooty Gatwell season. I hope Russell nutters him and make sure that he doesn't get off his perch.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. No, it's okay. I enjoyed it for Patrick. If it wasn't for David Tennant, I would have dropped out of there immediately. And it was only 4 episodes. And David Tennant, you can forget a lot when David Tennant's there. Just he can
Oh
make
yeah.
everything. He could read a toilet door, the dialogue on a toilet door, and make it sound epic. You know what I mean? That's how good David Tennant is.
The theme tune slapped as well. Like, I love John Grant, so that was a nice little addition.
Absolutely. And I'm going to talk about season 2 of Jerk as well. Season 3 of Jerk is here.
Oh, what's that?
Have you not seen Jerk before?
No, I have not. What is it?
It's about a man, what do they call it? Cerebral palsy, who's a Canadian or an American.
Okay.
And it shows disabled people can be rude and funny at the same time.
I
And it's
like
written
it.
by his wife, who married him, and it's really on the knuckle. But it shows disabled people can be rude as well and just be
That's good.
arseholes, and that's why it's so funny because everyone always treats him like, oh, he's always disabled, and he just decides to wreck them with his voice.
Amazing. I'll have a look
Like,
at
go
that.
watch it. Jerk. There's 3 seasons. It's just come back for a third season.
What's it on?
iPlayer.
I'll have a look at that, yeah.
I don't want to spoil it for you. I think season 3 they're tackling really big, like should disabled actors be replaced? Should able-bodied people play disabled actors? Stuff like that, but it does it so funny, like really sharp satire, really having a look at it, ripping the piss out of it, ripping down the foundations of disabled. But I wouldn't hire the support workers in this show.
Yeah, I get annoyed with that. My husband's always like, what have they done? What would you report them for?
No, but it's done for a joke here, thankfully. It's very silly. It's very funny, but I definitely wouldn't support these people to take weed and like smoke weed. And there's a joke where because he's disabled and nobody's ever going to check him for drugs.
Oh yeah, they've done that in a few things now, actually.
It's quite a good joke still. But go watch it. I think it's on the right side.
I'll have a look.
And it's what we do best is take something where people think you can't make a joke of.
Yeah.
And you actually can. Go watch it. There's my 2 picks for the week.
Cool. I like them. What about you, Tara? What's on your list?
Okay, so recently I watched The Glory Part 2, and guess what? One of the villains' name is Sarah.
Oh.
No, with a name like that, she's got to be the bad guy. How is The Glory going?
So it's good actually. I finished everything. I finished the entire Part 2. And then, okay, so we'll start. So, as you all know, it's actually about a lady getting revenge on her teenage bullies and one of the bullies' name is Sarah. The bullies get what they deserve. So, the bullies are shitty people, to be precise.
Obviously.
One has a colorblind issue. He cannot see the color red. The other one is a smelly thug. And there's an air stewardess with big fat implants, which are fake. They could just burst anytime. But unfortunately, she's not Sarah. Because Sarah in real life is an air stewardess. So the Sarah in The Glory is actually a fake artist who gets people to paint work for her and claims credit under her name. Yes. And she stabbed. Okay, I'm going to talk about spoilers right here. So in the end, Sarah got angry with air stewardess, so she stabbed air stewardess girl in the neck and damaging her vocal cords. And Sarah got high on camera in her church and went to jail. Even her dad went to jail. Yep. So I think most of the bullies just ended up dead or in jail.
That's what you like to see.
Yes, I like to see it. Unfortunately, The Glory would be fun to play in real life on somebody who I do not like, but I think it's just the best leaving because he is already dealing with it.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically it's just a revenge show. And maybe I'm not say too much because I don't know how many people have watched it. If I say too much, I'm going to spoil it.
That's what I did with Inside Man. I just went around the plot because I didn't want to spoil it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I blurted out one of the punchlines, but
it's fine. You didn't
terrible.
give too much away. I'm the effing vicar is still brilliant. No, but like that's fine, Tara. I mean, like you don't want to. Sometimes it's just best if it's got plot twists coming, not to give too much away.
Yeah.
What's your other pick?
I didn't watch TV, but yeah, I just finished The Last of Us actually.
Oh, how is that?
To be honest, it's a bit slow moving, not really what I expected. But I'm not sure how it's a past House of the Dragon actually. But yeah, it's actually a really slow moving show. Do you think so? Has anyone watched it?
I've not watched it, no.
Okay, and I'm actually starting to watch Shadow and Bone on Netflix.
Oh, how is that? That's meant to be quite good.
So far it's alright. I've only watched the first 2 episodes and it is alright so far. Yeah, I'm just trying to get used to another new fantasy show after House of the Dragon. Yep.
So is The Last of Us actually that good? Because the game people go on about the game like it's amazing. I mean, it's okay.
Maybe the graphics are amazing. I don't know, but I just feel the
Jesus
show is a
Christ.
bit
The
slow.
story's great, but the
Yeah.
gameplay is just so it props up the story. The
Yeah.
story is very good, but
It's a bit
like
slow.
the video game bit is just not great.
Yeah, it's a bit slow moving compared to the game. I mean, because one of the main hype is that they have 2 Game of Thrones actors. Like, yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I've never played the game, and I don't know anything about it, and I've watched it, and it's quite good. Like, it's enough to keep you entertained.
The storyline is great. The story writing is amazing. It's just the gameplay is way overhyped. I mean, the story is one of the best stories of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why when I said it was a show, I was like, yeah, okay, we've done this zombie thing before Walking Dead, but this is actually a good idea because you can expand. You're going to run out the game eventually, very quickly, I think. But they can go their own way at that point. So that's all cool.
Yeah.
What is Shadow and Bone about, Tara, actually?
Actually, I got into it because of the Twitter fandom. They were shipping 2 people together. So I believe it's about magic and a village. Yeah, I haven't really got into it so much yet.
Okay, well, I look forward to next week when you tell me more.
Okay.
Cool. Well, I have been watching new series of stuff. So I watched the second half of series 4.
You mother effer, you puddle, yeah, okay.
I mean, it the second half I think was better than the first half.
Yeah. Oh, it's got the chip from Ghosts in it. I've seen it. Well, you know
Yeah,
when
it's got
you
your girlfriend.
hover,
It's got
it plays a clip in the right hand. It's got Charlotte Ritchie in. How good is she in the second half?
She's good. She's really good.
I
And
would, by the way.
well, I know.
Sorry.
I was going to say your
Wow,
girlfriend.
sorry, that came out wrong. But like, she's a good actress.
Yeah.
And very hot. Sorry.
And she's great in this. Actually, she's really good. What else was I going to say? So yeah, I liked it. It was exciting. It had a good twist. I think most people would guess what the twist was, but it was still good. It was really, yeah. I thought the first half. I was a bit worried that the first half had written checks that the second half couldn't cash, but they cashed them. And he's terrifying. Like, the guy that plays Joe is terrifying, and I love it, and I'm here for it. And what else? There's a new season of Ted Lasso.
Oh, is this okay? So West Ham, real football teams are getting involved now.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
do they use actual managers or is it just actors?
The actors.
Oh, I'd love to see David Moyes from Scotland give a Glasgow kiss to Ted Lasso.
No, we love Ted Lasso. Don't be mean about Ted Lasso.
Maybe Ted Lasso can give a Glasgow kiss to David Moyes.
No, see, the thing with Ted Lasso is it's like everybody's redeemable. Like, that's the whole point of it. Like, there's nobody that's beyond saving. Even when you think they might be. And yeah, they're just lovely boys. I love Richmond, AFC Richmond. They're my favourite fictional football team. So and the other thing that I watched as well was Reboot. I started watching Reboot today. Have you heard of it?
The ITV.
I don't think it's ITV. I'm watching it on Disney Plus.
Reboot, the CGI British television show.
No.
I've lost all interest in this now.
So
Reboot. Going on.
Rachel Bloom, Johnny Knoxville, Judy Greer.
Yeah.
And the guy who's in everything, whose name I can't remember, but he's Garrett in Superstore, are all in it. And it's about a woman who wants to reboot a television show from the 90s. And she wants to bring back the original characters and make it a bit more naughties friendly. So a bit like a bit sharper, a bit funnier, a bit wittier, and all that stuff. And then you think they all come back to do it, but then you find out that they've all got their reasons for coming back, like their lives are falling apart and all that stuff. But she's like, oh, I'm going to reboot it. I'm going to make it better. It's going to be so much better than it used to be. Blah 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 blah. And then on her first day, the original writer comes back. Is like, it's all right. This script's terrible. I'm going to make it all better and all that stuff. So the actors are kind of like swinging in between wanting to help him and wanting to help her. So the Rachel Bloom, who's the new writer, quits, and they all kind of go to her house, and then they're trying to decide what side to be on, and they decide at the end of the last episode. It's going to be quite interesting, I think. I don't think I'm going to give too much away because I think they put this in the press for it. So it turns out that the show's about a step family, so it's about like a guy who gets married into this other family, and it's about he gets on with the ex-husband and they look after his stepson. But it turns out that the woman who's trying to reboot the show, it was her dad that wrote it, but he wrote it about leaving her and moving in with a new family. And that's why she doesn't want to work with him. But then she realizes that she could probably piss him off more if she comes back.
Okay.
So it looks like it's going to be quite good, actually. I'm excited about it. I think the setup's going to be really cool. And I'm looking forward to the rest of it, actually. But it's a promising first episode. I'm really looking forward to it. And just films-wise, because I'm going to stick a film in. I saw Scream 6.
Sorry. I've just realised this podcast isn't over yet. Hold on. Movies. So, you remember, Helen, I can't remember the last time we spoke, Helen. It's been a while. It was, what were the movies? Men?
Yeah.
I've watched it.
Yeah, what did you think?
It stayed with me afterwards. It's definitely not a movie that I can just forget about. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Some people have gone right down the middle. Hate it, love it. It was all right. I thought the bit at the end. So this is the bit where you kind of have to figure out the bit at the end. I don't want to spoil it. But the bit in the garden, I think it's fascinating. I had a good chat with my wife about this one. It's what did I go for? I think it's men giving birth to more worse men.
Yeah.
Is that am I correct? Because it felt like
so like
we end up with
the ones at the beginning are indifferent, and then the ones that become indifferent, the ones that are born for the one that are indifferent become a bit more vicious, and they get more and more vicious.
Because you have the gentleman one, the one that's always looking after her, like the old-fashioned gentleman.
Yeah.
And you get to the bit that awful husband of hers comes out at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure it out because I had to kind of really go away and think about it. And I think I was quite happy with it when I figured it out. Good movie.
Subtle. It's not subtle though, is it? It's like men are all the same.
I've seen Roy Kinnear's penis now. I'm like, we've all seen his cock now. So
we've all seen him fuck a pig as well, right?
Brave man, yeah. That man, like I've seen his dick now. So okay, that's next to Russell Tovey and other men's dicks I've seen now.
I've seen Sir Ian McKellen's dick in real life.
No, where have you seen that?
I saw him play King Lear a few years back, and one of the scenes in King Lear is famously nude, and he's got a lot to be cocky about. Sir Ian McKellen, pardon the pun. Got nothing to be ashamed of.
He's got a very lucky partner.
Yeah. I'd not be complaining anyway.
Oh, and I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once. I don't know if I've nailed that right.
Oh, I loved it.
So I watched it. I didn't know it was the Oscars. I watched it the day before the Oscars. Didn't know it was nominated or anything. I just watched it. Now, I'm down on superhero movies at the moment because I am bored of superhero movies. This movie is fantastic. It has
so good.
fun. And the main thing about it is I love at first I struggled with the Chinese going into English, but like I love the fact that from Western filmmakers they've just kind of made it feel like it's a foreign language film sometimes.
Yeah.
And when I found out it's Indiana Jones's short round
Yeah, short
and
round.
it was his comeback, that really made me happy when I heard he got Best Supporting Actor. I'm really happy for him and Michelle Yeoh and everyone. But the main thing is, it's the heart of the family. So this isn't just a superhero kung fu movie. This is like proper heart with it. Is it weird? Yeah, it's a bit weird, but it's just so inventive. I just kept guessing what was going on. If you start to think about it, the main Michelle Yeoh is just in an office block the whole time doing a tax return. She doesn't really leave the office block. She does go access the other Michelle Yeoh's.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a very interesting film. I'm so glad it won the Oscar because I watched it was 2 hours and I finished it and I just went, oh, lovely, great film.
I think though, for me, it's got a deeper meaning because to me, it's definitely a film about having ADHD.
I can
It
see that.
really spoke to me actually about that, and it made me really emotional because it is definitely to me, as far as I can see, about having ADHD and like
She
not.
can't focus.
Yeah, but the thing is like your attention moves so quickly from things, and you've never quite felt like you've reached your potential. That's part of the thing of having ADHD. It's like one of the diagnostic criteria actually is feeling like you've missed your potential, and it's because stuff stopped interesting you, so you stopped doing it, and it's gone forever. And like, what if your life is a constant series of, well, what if I'd stuck with that, or what if I'd been able to see that through, or what if that had gone differently? And so much, in fact, that one of the Daniels, one of the guys that wrote it, ended up getting diagnosed with ADHD while writing it. He was like looking into ADHD for it, and he was like, I need to look into it. And he was like reading it, and he was like, oh shit. And that's, to me, that's what it was about, and it really touched me on that level. It was honestly, I've not cried like that at a film for so long.
It touched me because that family thing, it just hit me really hard. Especially the best bit is when the father, just in the wheelchair, gets some of the best lines. And now bum bag is a lethal weapon as well. So congratulations for that.
Yeah.
And like with Michelle Yeoh, right? She's come a long way from Hong Kong action movies. The first time I've seen her do that type of kick-ass kung fu stuff in a long time, she realized, like in Hollywood, she's done such varied roles, right? Right?
Yeah.
She's done so many different things, and it's so nostalgic to see her go back into old style kung fu martial arts style things. I forgot she can do that. It was really amazing to see at her age as well. She can still do that with a stunt double. That's incredible.
So can Ki Kwan, can he? Like he was doing film choreography for years because he couldn't get any acting work. Ki Kwan, I think it's called, yeah. But yeah,
happy
such a good movie. Such a good movie.
Oh, by the way, Brendan Fraser also won an Oscar as well. Like, it was the comeback. Like, congratulations. Welcome back to Brendan Fraser, baby.
What a lovely, he seems like such a lovely guy as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he got hounded out of Hollywood, so it's good to see him come back and get an Oscar as well. It was a good Oscars. Finally, a film that I've actually seen gets an Oscar win. Finally. It's always a shit film normally that nobody's watched.
No, normally, isn't it?
Yeah, well done, Hollywood. You finally got it right. Well done. And you just had a nice, enjoyable Oscars for once.
No, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to see Scream 6 at the cinema.
Okay, so how was that? New York, it's about time.
It
Seems
was
like a fresh...
honestly so good. Like,
Okay.
you think by number 5 there'd be a bit of diminishing returns, but the script was on point. It was tight. Twist was good. The kills were good. There was a twist right at the beginning that I wasn't expecting, and it knocked me off. It knocked my expectations sideways. Jenna Ortega's brilliant. Melissa Barrera is brilliant. Such a tough final girl. Like, both of them just brilliant. Honestly, I could not say enough good things about it.
Okay, does the New York setting make it like feel like a new film?
Yeah, not a new film, but like it's got
It
to a
needed
place.
to get out of Woodsboro. It really did.
Yeah,
Even by Scream 5, I was like, oh my God, can we move from this town? It needs a shake up.
yeah, no, it's moved from Woodsboro. It's got a new like location. They've really used it to good effect. Like, yeah, I'm more impressed than I've been in a very long time with that film.
Mm.
Really good stuff. Really current. Like,
No,
yeah,
no.
I was really pleased.
Mm.
But that's me. That's my picks.
Fantastic. So we've had a good week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched 2 good movies. I watched 2, you've watched Scream 6. I've watched Megan.
Was that any good? Because I want to watch that.
It's just a shame that it's not about Prince Harry murdering Meghan Markle and just throwing her body over a dead bridge. Um,
No.
but it's different. It's again another Blumhouse production. They really do come from different angles on horror movies, don't they? It's from the guy who did Freaky, and Death Day. The guy's got a
Okay.
knack for funny films, so he's done it again.
Happy Death Day is
Go watch.
underrated.
It's got a lot of fun to it. I like my horror with a bit of fun. Horror's having a real good run at the moment in Hollywood.
There's a bit in Scream 6 where they're
What's the new thing? Like, what's it taking the piss out of this time in terms of horror? Because it's always got a comment on something.
that's interesting actually. I think it was about the thing that the speech that was given was like reboot when they do the reboot the sequel, like it's not a sequel, it's a franchise now, so the rules are all different and all that stuff. So I think it was a bit like it did kind of hark back to the Marvel, like the whole kind of cinematic universe trope thing, because they did talk about like other Woodsboro murderers or other ghost faces. So I think it was kind of like a comment on cinematic universes and that kind of thing. So the way that this, if a story works, it gets done to death, kind of thing.
It is weird though because Scream 5 was only last year. It feels like they got this one together quick. Like it got whipped out quickly.
I reckon they must have commissioned them both at the same time. Like, there's no way.
They don't need to do a 7th one, do they?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be mad.
There is a point where you got to stop. It's like with Marvel. It's just a bit. When do you stop? You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but
Horror
I don't.
franchises are like maybe the worst offenders because they don't have a universe. They just keep popping them out. I mean, Paranormal Activity should have stopped after the first 3. I could tell you how unnecessarily Halloween, Friday the 13th, all that. They don't need 10, 15 sequels of the same thing. So it'll be interesting to see if they can. I need to watch the Scream TV series, actually. That's on Netflix. I don't know if that's garbage or not.
The first one was good. I enjoyed it.
What was the second season like?
I don't know. I haven't watched the second one.
Maybe I have to watch that.
The first one was good though. I really like that.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Okay. I think we're done.
I think we might be.
Fantastic.
We all right?
Yeah. Do you guys do all your bits?
Oh, just hit us up. Square Eyes is in twitter.com and at gmail.com. If you want to send us a little email or a little message, I'll be happy to read that.
Okay.
I think Tara's talking to the cat.
Tara's just gone. Is she sleeping?
Who knows?
Oh, Lance Reddick has just died.
Yeah, so it's a shame.
Such a shame Resident Evil was the last thing he was in. Nice actor. He was like the best thing in he was in The Wire. Yeah. And he was in Fringe. We need to do Fringe one day.
He
Oh,
was, yeah.
that's the first time I saw him. He was so cool in the Fringe. What a nice guy. He died. He had something. I know he wasn't very well.
Sam Neill's just been diagnosed. Announced that he's been diagnosed with brain cancer as well.
Uh,
Or not brain cancer, I think non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. It's all a bit sad today.
he looks so young, 60. That's nothing.
I know.
Is Tara sleeping?
I reckon so. I reckon we'll just leave her.
Okay. Well, Tara, Chloe, and so Tara, Chloe, and Troy Salmon's YouTube channels are all down below. They're sleeping. So that will be it.
Yeah.
We've got a Facebook group. I can't be bothered to list everything off. Everything's in the description below. Go sort that out. I guess it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me as well.
Yeah, I would totally watch a movie where Harry does kick the shit out of, well, kills Meghan.
Oh, behave.
The whole royal family just beating her with baseball bats. I don't hate violence on women, but I would pay good money to watch Meghan Markle get killed by women. That's okay, right? No men.